Hugo, Danish, Skærmtrollen Hugo, is an interactive television show created by the Danish company Interactive Television Entertainment, ITE, in 1990. Since its premiere on TV2, this popular, live one-player multi-platform interactive game show has aired in more than 40 other countries. The show has been adapted into multiple video games as well into merchandise and other media in its extended franchise. Original program. Hugo was first aired on the Danish television channel TV2 during 11 Ren in 1990, featuring a video game that was played by the audience via telephone connection. A player would call the show where they would control a cartoon character on the TV screen in several scenarios by pressing digit keys on the phone, either 12, 3 or 2, 4, 6, which represented different character controls. The hit show was aired continuously for 5 years. Since then, various merchandise has been produced in Denmark to be distributed around the world, and there were 2 attempts to adapt the show into an animated film. Among other developments, the show's original scenario, which ran on Danish television for a year, featured only the titular character, Hugo. Hugo is a small, friendly troll who is 220 years old, a young age for trolls, who navigates an old mine in a quest for a treasure. For the next season, the developer ITE added Hugo's family, his 180-year-old wife Hugoline, and their kids, Rit, Trollerat, Rat, Trollrat, and Rut, Trollerat, who were aged 20 to 50. As well, Hugo's enemy, an evil witch named Scylla, originally of Skelia in Denmark and also having other international names such as Hexana in the German version, Maldisha in the Spanish version, Moldiva in the Portuguese version, Mordana in Croatia, Skya in Finland, Sila in Turkey, and Simla in Vietnam, who is extremely old and hideous but uses magic to appear young and beautiful when she is nearby. Hugolima. Most Hugo video games and other adaptations would drop this motif, and Scylla would become always youthful by default, instead seeking revenge against Hugo, searching for an ultimate power to conquer the world, or even trying to make trolls extinct. The objective of the game became navigating obstacles in a series of scenarios in order to reach Scylla's skull cave lair and rescue Hugo's family from cruel captivity. Usually, several people would attempt this task to win the prize, which depended on the amount of points obtained from collecting gold along the way. During half an hour of airtime, Hugo would communicate with the player to comment on the game's progress, while the witch Scylla would taunt both Hugo and the player. Later, the show was gradually expanded with more characters, talking and regular animals that were both good and evil, and increasingly more diverse environments and gameplay, especially with the spin-off program Hugo Jungle Island, Hugo Volcanon, that premiered in January 1999. Another scenario, based on the video game Hugo, the Evil Mirror, was also created but never aired. Behind the scenes, Hugo was originally portrayed by Michael Brockdorff, who developed the voice while in the army. Several others had since taken over the task of voicing the character, including Armin Jensen and Torben Simonsen. Hugolina was originally voiced by Louise Engel. Louise's brother, Thomas Engel, composed Hugo music for the show, while her mother Winnie voiced the antagonist, Scylla, for Hugo and its similar television program projects. ITE originally developed a designated, custom-built computer hardware system called the ITE 3000 that would convert telephone signals into control commands for the characters in the game and allow audience interaction and the action on the TV to occur without delay. The system was based on two Amiga 3000 computers combined with a new audio control system MIDI sampler, the DTMF system and some other hardware, all of which reportedly cost $100,000 to make. The ITE 3000 was later replaced by the PC-based ITE 4000, which used a real-time motion capture animation mask system, AMS, invented by Björn Solveson, father of the ITE founder Ivan Solveson, to transfer an actor's body, head, and eye movements and facial expressions to Hugo's character on screen. The actor providing the voice of Hugo wore a helmet which contained sensors that would capture his facial expressions and translate them to the character. But all of the character's body movements were pre-rendered. In 1996, ITE created a new 3D graphics system for Hugo using silicon graphics machines. A new technology for the real-time 3D animation of Hugo was unveiled in 2005. But was aimed only for export, specifically to Asian countries. Licensed programs. Hugo was licensed to more than 43 as of 2007. TV shows around the world. First in Spain in 1992, followed by France. Many viewers believed that the program was native to their countries, as Hugo spoke Danish only in Denmark. Hugo never aired in South Africa because the local TV station demanded that ITE remove horns in all animations for all games, as their viewers were very superstitious and believed that Hugo would appear as a demon from local beliefs. The horns of Hugo also caused some problems in the Middle East. General listing by country Argentina in Argentina, a Jug Arc on Hugo, hosted by Gabriella Gabby Roif, ran for 7 seasons and 343 episodes, winning the Martin Fierro Awards for Best Kids Show in 2003. Hugo was voiced by Cesar Ledesma. A paper magazine was also published for the show. Gabby Roif returned to host the program in 2016. This time using the internet and a mobile app instead of television and a classic telephone. When the 30th anniversary event was attended by 1,600 people and watched by 500,000. Brazil. In Brazil, the Hugo show on CNT Gazeta, later Hugo Game, peaked with 500% above the expected rating level, with 1.8 million callers on a single day. Hugo was presented as a duend and played by a robotic puppet voiced by Orlando Vigiani. Chile. In Chile, Hugo was a success and was quickly extended from a 15-minute segment to 30 minutes in the latter half of 1995, eventually receiving a daily 1-hour time slot on Television Nacional de Chile as La Hora de Hugo. Hugo Hour. The winner of the daily editions would meet at a weekend finale and a Hugo van traveled around the country to meet the program's viewers. The show was originally hosted by Yvette Vergara and later by Andrea Molina, with Sandro Larinas voicing Hugo. Finland. In Finland, where Hugo was introduced by game journalist turned producer Pekka Kasila in 1992. 2 different 30-minute Hugo shows were aired at the same time by YLE-TV2. One for adults and one for children, achieving an 18% market share by 1996. The programs were originally presented by Taru Valkeapaa, who was chosen from among 45 candidates, and later by Marika Salkonen, while Hugo was voiced by Harri Haitinen. Merchandise included the music CD DJ Hugo, which included dance hits of 1993. France. In France, the program was titled Hugo Délire, Hugo Madness, and Les Délires d'Hugo, Hugo Delusions, and was presented by Karen Sherrill on France 3. The popular show achieved a cult status among the children of the 1990s. Germany. In Germany, and at first also Austria and Switzerland, Die Hugo show was scored with techno music and was drawing up to 200,000 phone calls every day at its peak. It used a virtual reality-like studio and the Hugo mobile for live broadcasting all around the country, becoming a cult show for some. The German version of Hugo won the Golden Cable Award in 1995 for the Best Children's Program. There were several musical guests on the show, including Master Boy, a 1996 1997 Kabel 1 spin-off program titled Hexana Schloss. Hexana's Castle was hosted by a live-action version of Hexana, German name for Scylla, played by Julia Haak and sponsored by PlayStation. German presenters included Min Kari van Thi, Yvette Dankou, Tanja Schleifstrasse, and Judith Hildebrandt, while Sonja Zietlow hosted the spin-off program Hugo and Hexana. Hugo's voice actors were Michael Herbeck, Oliver Grimm, Oliver Beyer and Sven Blumel. The country also had a Hugo magazine and a wide variety of merchandise, including numerous music CD releases. Israel. In Israel, Hugo was a 30-minute show on Arutz Hayil Adam, the children's channel, and quickly became the channel's most popular show. The show inspired a 3-hour spin-off, Hugo's World, in 1996, in which children used a large step-on number pad to enter character movements. From 1997 to 2001, Hugo starred in a children's electricity safety campaign by Israel Electric Corporation, and the show offered a contest related to this campaign in 1997. The program's presenters included Tal Berman. In addition to various merchandise, the show was adapted into a comic book series and a musical stage show. Poland. In Poland there was the main show, and 2 spin-offs, all of which were shown on the Polsat network. The spin-offs, Hugo Family and Hugo Express, were the most popular children's programs for years. Hugo was originally hosted by Wojciech Kosinski and Andrzej Kruch, and later by Piotr Gallus, while Alexandra Wozniak hosted Hugo Family. Hugo was voiced first by Andrzej Niemiecki and later by Mariusz Zarka. There was a monthly magazine and many types of locally produced merchandise. Similar to Germany. Portugal. In Portugal, the show's presenters included Alexandre Cruz, Fernando Martins, Pedro Mendonça, Pedro Pinto, Jonas Seekers and Susana Bento Ramos, and the voice actors were Frederico Trancoso, Hugo, Grace Ferreira, Hugolina, and Monica Garce. Moldova, Scylla. Hugo won a Trofeu Nova Gente award in 1999. The show was later revived by the daily program H Hour. Serbia. In Serbia, Hugo was the highest-ranking children's show for over 4 years. It was hosted by Ivana Zečević, M. Golubovic, and Sandra Vlatkovic. Spain. In Spain, 25% of the population tuned in to watch Hugo, hosted by Carmen Sevilla on Telecinco, a viewing figure that has remained unsurpassed since 1994. The success of Hugo prompted the launch of Hugolandia, a spin-off program presented by Beatriz Rico, Luis Alberto Vázquez, and Roma and Eva Morales, and directed by Sebastian Junyent. Pepe Carabias voiced Hugo. Turkey. In Turkey, Hugo became the highest-ranking children's show and achieved a 12% share of the total market when the country was new to private channels. The program was enormously popular, especially in 1993. when it was watched by millions of children, thousands of whom would compete to play. The show was hosted by Tolga Gariboglu. There was also a theatrical show and locally made merchandise. The popular character Scylla, Scylla, gained a motivation for kidnapping Hugo's family as she needs to drink troll sweat for eternal life and beauty. Vietnam equals. In Vietnam, Vui Kung Hugo, Fun with Hugo, became one of the highest-rated shows by 2008, receiving 20,000 phone calls per episode. The program became a household name and a favorite among both children and many adults. It was hosted by Hoang Thuy Linh, Le Ducan Hugo, Ngoc Linh and Than Van Hugo, with Hugo voiced by Quach Ho Nin. Other countries. In Croatia, Hugo was presented by Boris Mirkovic, Ivana Pleshinger and Kristijan Ugrina, with Hugo voiced by Ivo Rogalja. The show was highly popular, running for 8 years, and the taunt used by the witch Scylla, Mordana in the Croatian version of the show, in the dungeon became iconic. Hajda, Izaberi Jedan Broj, Sigurno se pogrijeti, go on, choose a number, you will surely fail. In the People's Republic of China, Hugo was known as a European troll, and the show could not be interactive because a 30-second delay was required in order to allow authorities to cut off the feed if anyone said anything negative about the ruling regime. In Ireland, Hyundai won the Oireachtas TV Awards, TV Presenter of the Year, in 2001 and Personality of the Year, in 2004. In the Russian program, Call Kozya, hosted by Ina Gomez and Andrei Fedorov, Hugo was voiced by Alexander Lenkov and Dmitry Polinsky. Hugo was first renamed to Max M, and then to Kozya, possibly after Kozya the Little Domovoi, the hero of a Soviet cartoon series, while Scylla was voiced by Alexandra Rovensky. In Slovenia, Hugo was hosted by Gregor Krach on TV Slovenia. It became the #1 entertainment show by 1996, reaching 38% TV ratings. In Sweden, the TV4 version of The Hugo Show went on to become the best-rated children's show ever in 1996. The show's merchandise included a board game. In the UK, Hugo was played on What's His Up Doc and The Shiny Show, reaching up to 38% TV ratings on the latter. Video game adaptations. Legacy. Hugo franchise. Hugo TV show, behind the scenes.